Hey there, welcome. I'm Samantha Harrison, and today I'm going to guide you through a pretty quick practice, but it focuses all on hamstrings. And this is going to be part one out of probably a series of 3 classes. What you're going to need for class today is a band of some sort, a strap. You could use a scarf, you can use a belt, a TheraBand, anything that you have laying around the house. Even a towel will actually do for this. But we're going to get right into it. So we're going to start laying down. And as you'll notice, I'm very pregnant, and so you might see me doing different things, but just listen to me guiding you through it. Don't worry about trying to look at me. But just start laying down for a second. You can have your legs bent or straight. And before we dive in, we're just going to take a quick 3 deep breaths. Let's take a nice big breath in. Let it out your mouth. 2 more, breathe in. Let it go. Last time. And out. And then now when you're ready, just do a full body stretch. Stretch your arms overhead, stretch out through your legs. Lengthen from fingertips to toes. As you exhale, go ahead and bring your right knee in toward you. And hold on to the back of your right leg. And then just start with flexing your foot, extending the leg. Don't worry about it being straight. It's likely not going to get straight. Point the foot and bend. And if your hamstrings are really tight, I would actually advise just bending your left leg. So extend, point, and bend. And just keep going like that. Flossing through the hamstrings a bit. Noticing how they feel. 1 more. Good. And then now to make it a little more active, we're going to bring that right hand, rest it on the front of your thigh. And begin to push your hand into your leg and your leg back at your hand. So you're creating this resistance for yourself. And we're doing this partially to keep the knee in the same place so that we're not moving our knee and our leg forward and back. We're keeping it in the same place. Keep all that resistance, and then as you inhale, flex and extend. Don't worry if it doesn't get straight. Exhale to point and bend. Keep going. Flex, extend, point and bend. Let's do 2 more. Again, keep that activation, pushing hand to leg, leg to hand. And the next time that your leg is up, keep that, but then start to circle through your ankle, circling the foot around. Now make sure that your shin and the rest of your leg is not moving, so this is really isolating your ankle and your calf. And focus particularly on the movement of what's called dorsiflexion, which is where the top of the foot and the toes are reaching back towards your shin. Focus on that. And then reverse. Really squeeze when you pull that foot back. Good, 1 more. And then go ahead and bend the leg. Set the foot down for a second. Grab your strap, whatever you're using. Go ahead and loop it around the ball of your foot. So not up into the arch, but more in the ball of the foot. And then from here, I want you to take your leg out till it's straight. So not straight up and down, but until it's straight, which means that it may have to come away from you quite a bit. And again, if your hamstrings are super tight, then just go ahead and bend this other leg. Flex the foot so the toes reach back toward you. And then from here, what you're gonna think about doing is starting to contract the back of your leg even while it's straight. So you can think about trying to push your foot and your leg into the strap a little bit as it's here. It doesn't look any different, but you should feel more activation in your hamstrings when you do that. So squeezing that while the leg is straight. Take another breath. And then maybe draw it in a little more. Again, only go as far as you can keeping it straight. Just feel that good sensation of stretch. You want the feeling of stretch to be kind of pretty broad and diffuse. So if it feels like it's very pinpoint, then back out quite a bit. Take another breath. Keep trying to think about pulling the top of the foot toward the shin. You'll feel more of a stretch in your calf, which tightness in our calf obviously affects our hamstrings. Good. Now go ahead and keep this leg straight. Bring the straps into your left hand. Right hand is going to come to your hip. Keep that hip down and just take your leg across your body a tiny, tiny bit, not much at all, while keeping that right hip down. You could even push your hip forward a little bit away from you. And hopefully as you do that, you'll feel a stretch along the outseam of the leg, maybe a different spot in the hamstrings, maybe in the calf. Any of that is fine as long as it's broad and diffuse feeling. Another breath. And then we're going to take this into a twist. So reach your right arm out to the side. If your left leg is bent, now go ahead and straighten it out. And then take that leg across your body as much as you can without the right shoulder popping off the floor. Keep flexing the foot. And if it's okay on your neck, you could even turn your head to look to the right. Couple breaths. One more. And then go ahead and come back up. Bend the leg, release the strap, shake out your legs and just feel the difference in your two sides now. Hopefully that feels good. And then let's bend the legs and let's bring the left leg in and we'll just repeat. So holding here and then hold the back of your leg and extend, point, bend, and just keep going through that a few times. Again, don't worry about your leg being straight. It's likely not going to be. Don't compare yourself to me either. I have weirdly flexible hamstrings, but they're pretty weak. Good. And now we're going to find that active resistance. Push hand to leg, leg to hand. Keep the thigh in the same spot as you extend and flex, point, bend. Keep going. Point, bend. You might hear some crunchies in your knee even. I'm hearing some right now. And that's fine. Totally normal. Getting out the Rice Krispies, you're moving your knee through its full amount of extension and flexion. Now let's keep pressing leg to hand, hand to leg, and then begin to circle through your ankle. Again, you want to make sure you're not moving. So if you see your whole leg moving, or your shin or your knee moving, then you're not moving just your ankle, you're moving the rest of your leg. We're trying to isolate the ankle. Focus on that dorsiflexion where the top of the foot pulls back toward the shin, and then reverse. Big circle. Good. And then bring it in. Set it down for a second. Get your strap, whatever you're using. Grab it. Loop it around your foot. Ball the foot. And then again, take the leg out until it's straight. And if you have really tight hamstrings, just have your right leg bent. Don't worry about even stretching it out. Pull the toes back toward you, and then find this activation. So here, it doesn't look any different from the outside, but I'm passive, which just means I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm not engaging my muscles at all. So now we're going to make it more active by thinking about almost like I'm trying to bend my knee. I'm pushing my foot into the band, and I'm contracting, I'm squeezing intentionally the hamstrings, the back of the leg. So what we're trying to do is activate the hamstrings in their more lengthened state, which will help with your flexibility. Hold that and breathe. Keep flexing the foot. Keep thinking about digging the heel down so that you feel your hamstrings contract. Breathe. important to make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath, not tensing your jaw. And then see how far, maintaining a straight leg, can you bring the leg in. It might not come in anymore, it might come in a tiny bit. Just see what's happening in your body. There's really no benefit to pulling it in if your leg is bent, if we're trying to really work your hamstrings. So just be honest with yourself and keep it straight. Even if it's way far away from you, it's fine. You're doing the work. Couple breaths. Keep that activation. And then now put the straps into the right hand, and then left hand to your hip here, and I'm pushing the thigh bone away from the body, and then taking the leg across just a tiny bit. So if your hip and if your butt start to lift off the floor, if your pelvis lifts up, you've gone too far. So you're just keeping the pelvis down as you take the leg across to feel that stretch more into the outseam, different spot, the hamstrings, maybe into the calf. Keep trying to flex that foot. I know that like really fires up the calf and moves the stretch down the leg, but that's what we're going for. Obviously, if it's so intense that you hold your breath or you're tensing, then just back out a little bit. Take another breath. And then now you can stretch your right leg out and then take your leg across your body. Only go as far as you can, keeping this opposite shoulder down. So it might not be very far at all, and that's fine. Keep flexing the foot, and if it's okay on your neck, you can turn and look to the left. Another breath. One more. And then come back up. Now go ahead and bend this leg, release. Shake out your legs if you want. And then when you're ready, just do a big full body stretch, lengthen out. Hug your knees in. And then we're gonna come to sit. You can either roll to your side or you can rock up if that's comfortable. Just slowly take your time coming up. And we're gonna do one more little movement before we close. So just from here, we're gonna see how many positions you can sit in without using your hands. So I'm gonna time us for about a minute, maybe two, and just start to move around. You don't have to do exactly what I do. Let's see how many different ways you can sit without using your hands as much as possible. This is a dynamic movement for warming up your hips and your lower body. And of course, if you end up needing to use your hands, it's fine. You're just trying not to. Leaning into the stretch. Just keep it moving. You're not trying to hold any one position for long. Good. All right. And then return just to a comfortable seat. All right, so that's it for part one. Just some basic stretching and activation of your hamstrings. I hope you feel a little looser now going into your day, and stay tuned for part two and part three. Have a great day. Thank you.